Good evening, PBA fans, and we are privileged in today's ballgame because today we are at the dugout of the PBA Derby Llamados, and we're with Coach Ryan Gregorio. Coach, how would you describe the mood and how are you preparing for game number 2 after a big win in game number 1?
Of course, we're upbeat. Our chances are pretty good, but we're also cautious at the same time, knowing that we're up against a highly athletic team, and we just can't take things for granted. We really have to play at a level wherein we have to make sure that we have more energy than them and we play smarter basketball than them.
All right, thank you, Coach. And again, we'd like to thank you for letting us peep into your dugout right before the game. Thank you. Leah, how is it there, the rain or shine?
Alright, thanks, Dom. This time we are inside the Rain or Shine dugout right before the game, and beside me is head coach Kaloy Garcia. Coach, you guys dropped game 1. What is it you think you lacked in that game? What you could have done better?
Well, I think we played a good game the first game, but I think it's just the last 3 minutes of the game we committed 3 or 4 turnovers that decided the game. So basically, we just have to take care of the ball in the end game.
Coming into this ball game, what is your mindset once you get out on the court, or even here in the dugout right before the game?
Well, of course, we want to enjoy the game. And, of course, we have to win this game in order for us to tie the series. And I think it's more of we just have to focus on playing hard, be more physical, and not stop attacking the basket.
Okay, thank you very much, Coach. Now we head back onto the court because it's about to start the Rain or Shine versus PBA Derby is right here on Solar TV.
James Yap came up with a big game despite distractions off the court.
James Yap for 3. Yes, sir. James Yap with 31 points.
But Peter June Simon made the game's biggest play.
Roger Yap. Hang time outside. Simon. Oh! Peter June Simon. What a big time shot.
And Rain or Shine stall BMEC Derby Aces momentum.
Mercado on the loose.
This is Game 2.
Well, pinagdadasal talaga ni Coach Ryan Gregorio na lalo pang gumanda. Ang pinapakita na nagbabalik na si Kirby Raimundo. You know, to win a championship, to win a series, you need guys coming off the bench to contribute. Peter Jun Simon doing just that. Trying to get back to his super sub form. And Jervy Cruz trying to do the same para sa Rain or Shine, getting more and more confidence dito sa kanyang rookie year in the PBA. Magandang gabi sa kanilang lahat. This is the PBA Quarterfinals live on Solar TV. Miko Halili katabi. Ang nag-iisang El Decano, Senyor Quinito Hedson.
Good evening.
Welcome back to the Philippines.
Thank you. But game 2, you know, talking about Rain or Shine and Derby Ace, these two teams have a history of playing in the quarterfinals. You remember, 2 conferences ago, the same conference, the Fiesta Conference, Rain or Shine beat, at that time it was known as Pure Foods, 2-1 in a best-of-3 series in the quarterfinals. But you also remember that last conference, it was Pure Foods, of course now known as Derby Ace, that beat Rain or Shine. They went up 2-0 in that series, and then Rain or Shine came back to level it, and in the game, decisive game number 5, it was Pure Foods' turn to win.
Okay, tandaan po natin, no? The quarterfinals is a best-of-5 affair. In other words, if BMEC Derby Ace wins tonight, that will be a commanding 2-0 lead para sa kanila. And for them to do that, they'll try and get another match for game mula rito kay James Yap, their former PBA MVP, always in MVP form, certainly in Game 1. He was just like that.
Well, conference high 31 points for James Yap. He's their leader. He's the man who makes things happen. And if in any tight game, you want to go to your take charge guy, and James Yap is always ready to take the big shot. 31 points, 4 out of 10 from the 3-point distance. And you see his other stats. He is the main man for Derby Ace. But, you know, earlier you mentioned Kirby Raimundo. He's back. He played his first game of the conference last time out, and that was a big victory for Derby Ace. You've got a team that went 13-5 in the entire double round eliminations without a Kirby Raimundo. Now that he's back, they won game number 5. Can you imagine the level of confidence that this team has right now?
I have a feeling yung mga James, naniniwala sila, kailangan nila ng mga magagaling na kakampi para manalo, okay? mga King James most especially.
But in Derby Ace, they don't need just 3 kings. They have a lot of kings on this team.
How about
team.
Peter Jun Simon, who used to be the king of subs, not the king of 6 men in the PBA. He got sidelined by injuries for a while. Nagkaroon ng confidence problem, but you know, in game 1, it was his old self. He was the super sub once again.
You know, the thing about Peter Jun Simon is that, if you take a look at his numbers, he's not only a threat outside, but he also is a penetrator, a slasher, someone who can put the ball on the floor and drive against the big man inside and then kick out. He is an option outside, but he's also a deadly weapon inside. Plus, you know that he's got talent. You know that he was once an MVP in the PBA All-Star game. So with Peter Jun Simon back in form, can you imagine the bench that Coach Ryan Gregorio is going to show against Rain or Shine in Game 2?
So masaya ang BMX Derby Ace because they won Game 1. Ang Rain or Shine naman nakakapanghinayang no, yung kanilang pagkatalo. 3 of their top guys played so well in that game. Rod Ely, Gabe Norwood, and Sol Mercado. And they all connived to bring Rain or Shine back. They even led for a while, but kinulang talaga in the end, and these numbers all in a losing effort.
When you take a look at their numbers, particularly the minutes that each player played, 47 minutes for Neely, Norwood with 41 minutes, and Sol Mercado, he had 40 minutes in that game. You've got 3 players logging at least 40 minutes in that situation. You also know that this is a short series, so if you're Coach Caloy Garcia, you throw in your big guns and try to play them as many minutes. But this is a must-win situation for them. They have to face the ignominy of trying to get as much quality minutes from their key players, because you know they're in a must-win situation right here. They lose Game 2, they're in a deep hole in Game number 3.
And now, kids, bring out your pen and paper. It's time for ang pinakaabangan ng lahat, the Dean's List for Game 2. Unahin natin ang Dean's List ng BMX Derby Ace.
Oh, for Derby Ace, well, we have to talk about Kirby Raimundo. He's back, 4.7 rebounds, 40 minutes in game number 1. His first game of the conference, and what a contribution. First, you need to foul with a purpose. And I say that because in game number 1, Derby Ace gave up 48 free throws to Rain or Shine. They converted 36 free throws, while Derby only had 8 out of 10. That discrepancy is just too huge. And for Derby Ace to still win that game despite that means to say that they did a lot of good things other than that. Recover from errors. It's not just losing possession. It's not just committing turnovers, but it's being able to recover from those turnovers, because in game number 1, Rain or Shine had 21 turnover points and Derby Ace only 10. And finally, they can't afford to give Mr. President the mandate. Come on.
Sino President ba yan?
Gabe Norwood.
Gabe Norwood, okay.
Had 24 points, 7 rebounds and 6 assists, 41 minutes in game number 1. He is Rain or Shine's heart and soul. It's not Rod Neely, it's not Sol Mercado. This is the guy who makes things happen. And if you're Derby Ace, you want to make sure that there's a man on top of Gabe Norwood from start to finish.
Ito naman ang Dean's List para sa Rain or Shine, Elasto Painters.
Well, for Rain or Shine, we did mention that their big 3 logged a lot of minutes in game number 1. Wear and tear, that could probably creep in here. So, for Coach Caloy Garcia, it's got to be more than just the big 3. They had 8 players who played at least 11 minutes in game number 1, while Derby Ace had 11 players who played at least 11 minutes. So you can see that there's a big difference in depth. The advantage clearly going to Derby Ace. They need to step up the pace. Derby Ace likes to play a slow-down game because they like to play with a defensive orientation. If you step up the pace, that means you've got to run up and down. That means you have to have fresh legs. It also means you have to score a lot in transition. They did that in game number 1. They had 18 transition points, while Derby Ace only had 10. They need to be able to jack up those numbers here in game 2. Finally, they've got to battle for those possessions. And here, we're talking about rebounding. Derby Ace had a +6 rebounding edge in game number 1, but more than that, in terms of takes. Nico, in game 1, Derby Ace had 92 takes, 92 field goal attempts, while Rain or Shine only had 75. Big difference in terms of how many chances they're getting on the floor. And rebounding, also a key factor in the